Hello everyone, welcome to free crash course on competitive exams held by VIRAT HINDUSTAN SANGHAM in association with Manifest IAS Bengaluru. This program is inspired by Dr. SWAMY and it is convened by Sri RAVISHANKAR sir, State Education Convener for VHS Karnataka branch and also the President of Good Neighbors India NGO. So I am the chief mentor of your program. So we are dealing with economy now, polity and history is done. So the program will move on into various aspects, right? So this program can be watched online on the YouTube channel of VIRAT HINDUSTAN SANGHAM and also on the YouTube channel of UDAYA News Karnataka. On these two channels, you can watch it online. And for further any queries regarding mentoring, any doubts, any guidance regarding any of the competitive exams, you can get in touch with us on the Telegram channel. The channel name is VHS Education Forum for free mentoring. Okay. So yesterday we were discussing the agriculture, Indian agriculture, which is a crucial part of Indian economy. So agricultural price policy in India, this was discussed yesterday. So we discussed how MSP is provided only for the rice and wheat, and for the 24 products, out of which the lion's share goes to the rice and wheat. Because of which there are a lot of problems. That is, these rice and wheat takes in lot of water. It is called as a water guzzler, right? It requires lot of water to be grown, and big farmers are benefiting out of the MSP. Small and marginal farmers are getting very minimal benefits, and also it increases the food subsidy cost. Food subsidy cost on the government is increasing, and also it is changing the food habits. Only those foods which are freely available under PDS are forming the food habits of the rural mass or the overall mass of the Indian population. So with respect to certain specific schemes to improvise the Indian agriculture, we have Bhavantar Bhugtan Yojana. So this is practiced in Madhya Pradesh. What is this Yojana? Bhavantar Bhugtan Yojana. So price deficiency payment, that is, see, there is a minimum support price. That is, government provides some minimum support price, and there is market price. That is, market price is at what price the product is being sold. So there is a difference between the market price and also the minimum support price. That price difference is being paid by the government. Price deficiency is being paid by the government under this Bhavantar Bhugtan Yojana conducted in the or held in the Madhya Pradesh. Likewise, similarly, it is a difference between market MSP and market price. Then you have Raitu Bandhu scheme. Raitu Bandhu scheme, it is being followed in the, it is called as a Telangana model. So it is practiced in the state of Telangana. What is Raitu Bandhu scheme? Every farmer will get 5,000 rupees per acre. 5,000 rupees per acre every farmer gets in order to improvise the agriculture, or as a market support. As market support, every farmer gets 5,000 rupees, right? So it doesn't depend on any particular crop. So this 5,000 rupees is crop independent. That is, you grow any crop, you will be getting 5,000 rupees under the Raitu Bandhu scheme, and it promotes equitability. That is, equitable among all the farmers will get equal benefit. That is the aim or goal of the Raitu Bandhu scheme. Then you have Kalia scheme. Kalia scheme with respect to agriculture in Odisha. So Odisha, the government gives 25,000 rupees. The government gives 25,000 rupees per family as price support, market price support. Per farm family will get 25,000 rupees, and it is a kind, and also it helps in crop loans. So apart from this 25,000 rupees, government also assists the farmers in taking farm loans, crop loans, right? Also, it provides 12,500 rupees for landless agricultural laborers. So there are laborers who do not have any land. For them, for those families, the government is providing 12,500 rupees of market support. Apart from this, you have PM Kisan. Under PM Kisan, 6,000 rupees is being provided over in three installments per year for every farmer. So PM Kisan scheme is also a market support or income support scheme for the farmers. So these schemes, income support, market support, all these schemes, whether they fall under the World Trade Organization Agreement on Agriculture. So there is a threshold. There I told you there are three boxes: green box, blue box, and amber box. So MSP is considered to be falling under the amber box. That is why the World Trade Organization was opposing the MSP regime. Also, but the World Trade Organization is not hesitant with respect to the price support. The price support, that is, the government can give income support to the farmers. That may be creation of infrastructure, agricultural infrastructure. That may be creation of providing good quality seeds or providing good quality fertilizers. This kind of income support the government can give to farmers. The World Trade Organization is not hesitant with respect to these kind of subsidies, whereas it is very particular with respect to the MSP, minimum support price. So this minimum support price, they say it should not exceed, the agricultural subsidy should not exceed the 10%. 10% criteria is there. The subsidy should not exceed the 10% criteria. So however, India has bought in the peace clause. There is a peace clause under World Trade Organization. So under this peace clause, what happens when the subsidy is provided exceeds 10% of the support to the farmers, so then the government will invoke this peace clause. During the COVID times, COVID restrictions, the support exceeded up to 11.5%. Then the Indian government was forced to invoke the peace clause. Peace clause was invoked, right? Then you have so this is all about the World Trade Organization, Agreement on Agriculture, the boxes, MSP, peace clause, all these things. Next you have Swaminathan formula. What is Swaminathan formula? So it is MS Swaminathan, also called as father of Indian agriculture. So he is the father of Green Revolution. So this person has given a formula. So he headed the National Commission on Farmers. MS Swaminathan headed the National Commission on Farmers. What is this commission all about? It decides the pricing. It decides the pricing of the support price. That is, what should be the minimum support price given to the farmers. So they have calculated, they have given 5 reports between 2004 and 2006. Between 2004 and 2006, this Swaminathan Committee or the National Commission on Farmers gave 5 reports between 2004 and 6. So it is about fixing the price. What price should be fixed for the agricultural produce, right? So it is based on a formula called A2. These are the terminal. The formula is A2 plus FL plus C2. So there are various types of. So lastly, what was agreed was C2 plus 50% is recommended by the commission. So what is A2? What is C2? We will look into now. So A2 means A2 cost. A2 means actual cost or the income cost. So whatever the income price, that is buying the fertilizers, buying the input price, buying the fertilizers, buying the seeds, right? And also paying for the irrigation. So what is the input towards growing the crops? That comes under the A2 cost. Next you have A2 plus FL cost. So this is cost, that is input cost is there here. Input, apart from input cost, there is farm labor. See, first a farmer will put input, that is the seeds, fertilizers, irrigation, everything he will do. But he will also do labor, right? He will work on the field. He will work on the field. That is considered under the, that working on the field is considered under the formula A2 plus FL. A2 plus FL considers the, even the farm labor, that is the work of the farmer. Then you have C2 cost. C2 cost is A2 plus FL. That is input price plus farm labor. Along with that, the rent and cost of capital. The farm rent. Suppose the person is not owning any land. He has rented the plot. He has rented the plot from someone. That rent is counted under the C2 cost. Rent and cost of capital. That is Bandwala. Bandwala tagolodukke he is paying for the capital. He is paying some interest, right? So if he has taken a loan, he is paying some interest, right? That is included. That is included under the C2 cost. C2 cost basically includes A2, that is the input price plus farm labor. Along with that, the rent and cost of capital, right? These three things comes under the C2 cost. So what is the C2 is the comprehensive cost. C2 is called the comprehensive cost. What do you mean by comprehensive cost? It includes everything. It includes input, it includes rent, it includes the farm labor. Everything is included in the package called C2 cost. So what must be the MSP? MSP, if the government is paying MSP, what must be the MSP that is being paid by the government? Swaminathan Committee or the National Commission on Farmers says that the MSP should be C2 plus 50%. It should be C2 plus 50% is recommended by the Swaminathan Committee. See, whenever there is a farm protest, farmers protest, it is majorly regarding this C2 plus 50% formula. They say the government should give this much cost. However, government is not yet giving C2 plus 50%. They are just depending on A2 plus FL, that's all. That is, they are still giving only this price. So the farmers now are demanding C2 plus 50%. That is why all these protests. Next you have PM Asha scheme. Annadata Ay Samrakshan Yojana, Suraksha Yojana. So what is PM Asha? It includes three components. So it is the rationalized price and policy for efficiency. Why is this scheme required? First we will look at what are the components of the scheme. So it has three wings. One is price support scheme. Price support scheme. That is what is under price support scheme. What does the government do? See, under price support scheme, government is going to procure the products. That is, the government will buy the products from the farmers at a fixed price. That is price support scheme. Suppose the product is not selling at a good price. Under PM Asha, government is going to procure the goods under price support scheme. That is, physically it is going to procure the goods. That is the first component. Next you have price deficiency payment scheme. It is self-explanatory, and this is the second component. Under this component, whatever the deficiency, that is what the government is providing or what the farmers are actually getting. But what should be the remunerative price or the market price? That deficiency, what the farmers are actually getting for the crops and the price that the crop deserves or the market price. That difference is paid by the government. That is price deficiency payment scheme. That is the PM Asha scheme, second component. Next, here there is no procurement. Under the second component, there is no procurement. However, the price deficiency is paid to the farmers, right? Next, you have pilot on private procurement. Pilot on private procurement and stockist scheme. Pilot on private procurement and stockist scheme. See, under this, what happens? Government will procure, government will encourage the private sector to procure the crops. Government will pilot on private procurement and stockist scheme. Means the government will encourage the private sector, that is private companies or private enterprises, to procure the crops from the farmers, right? So it is going to act as a connecting point between the farmers as well as the market, right? So this is the third component of the PM Asha Annadata Aay Samrakshan Yojana. So it will be so now we will discuss the benefits of it. It will rationalize the price. It will rationalize the price. Means what? It will give good price to the farmers. Farmers will not go into losses. That is the first thing. Then it will have it is a policy for efficiency. This Annadata Aay Samrakshan Yojana, it focuses on efficiency. It is a policy for efficiency, right? See, you see all these schemes, PDPS, PSS, pilot on private procurement, all these schemes speak about what? They speak about the efficiency, that is farm sector efficiency. Next you have, it reduces wastage. This PM Asha scheme reduces wastage, right? So whatever the products that are, if there is wastage, that is, see, if the government is not procuring or government has procured in excess. See, under this private procurement, not only the market will procure, but if the government has any excess goods or excess food grains in its storage capacity, those excess grains will also be given to the private procurement. Excess grains stored with the government in the government storage, that will also be sold to the private. That also is included. So it will reduce the wastage. See, if the crops are not sold in the market, whatever is stored in the government storage, what happens if it is not sold? It will go waste. So that's, it will focus on reducing the wastage as well. Next you have system of rice intensification. What is rice intensification? It is about the growing of rice in an intense way. System of rice intensification. How rice is grown in an intense way. So it is a organic scheme. That is, the rice is grown in a organic way. That is, no chemical fertilizers are utilized. That is the first part. Next, it is a single row with space. The rice saplings are planted in a row with proper spacing. What happens? If there is no proper spacing, the yield will decrease. And if it is not planted in a particular row, then also there is provision of weeding. That is, weeds growing, unwanted plants will grow, right? So single row with space, that is the second part. Then there is a component of weeder also. Under system of rice intensification, it focuses on weeding. That is, unwanted plants are removed from the field, right? Apart from that, there is, it focuses on root growth. See, if the root of the rice sapling or the rice plant, if the root of that plant will go deep, if it spreads wide, then the yield of the rice will be more, yield of the paddy will be more. If it doesn't spread wide, the yield will be less, right? So under this system of rice intensification, it focuses on the growth of the root of the plant. Next, here, see, if you have observed the growth of rice saplings, how rice is grown and harvested, you see that the rice field will be flooded with water, right? So there will be standing water to a certain height. So always the field will be required to be filled with water, right? Under this system of rice intensification, there is no concept of flooding. There is no flooding of the rice field, only that much water is put to it. That is only that much water is used that is required, right? No excess flooding. Then it focuses only on the moisture, no flooding, but it focuses on soil moisture, plant moisture, whether there is sufficient water moisture in the soil and plant. So how does it ensure? It ensures it through frequent irrigation. Frequent irrigation, that is, it may be drip irrigation, sprinkler irrigation. So through micro irrigation, it is going to ensure moisture is there. When moisture is there, the plant will grow, rice sapling will grow. That is the that is one of the major component. It focuses on moisture. Next you have comprehensive farm management. This system of rice intensification, it focuses on managing the farm in a comprehensive way. That is, there is no fragmentation. So comprehensive means it starts from the seed level, up to marketing level, including giving the fertilizers, seeds, right, and also input support, insurance, and also market support, harvesting, threshing, and also cleaning, everything, even in the mills, how rice husk is separated from the rice seeds. All those things will be focused under the system of rice intensification. Next you have farm and non-farm employment. See, farm employment is employment provided in the farm sector. Farm sector includes what? It includes horticulture, that is growth of vegetables, growth of fruits, growth of food grains, growth of pulses and cereals, oil seeds, everything, even the plantation is considered as agriculture. Whereas the non-farm employment is in the rural area. If there is any employment which is not related to farm, it is not related to farm. It might be building of roads, or any other thing, or buying or taking the products from forest products, taking the forest products, or any other thing. Even animal husbandry doesn't come under non-farm employment. Animal husbandry also comes under, that is milking, milk production, right, beekeeping, along with that dairy farming and growing of sheep and cows. All these come under the farm employment. Whatever the employment outside this, whatever are the sectors I mentioned, that comes under non-farm employment, right? So now there is a change of share. See, earlier the farm employment was very high. During independence, 75% of the population, 75% of the population depended on what? The farm sector. Now it is just 50% of the population. So now in the rural areas, there is a change. There is a change from farm employment towards non-farm employment. So there are various pull factors and push factors. What are the pull factors and push factors? See, farm employment is turning non-remunerative. That is, the farm employment, that is agriculture, is no longer considered to be a profitable venture. It is said that no farmer wants his or her son or his or her daughter to be a farmer. They want them to pursue good education and reach higher levels, right? So that is there. So farm sector is considered to be loss making. There are a lot of other problems as well. The soil fertility is decreasing. There is no proper irrigation, right? There is no input support. There is lot of farm loans, right? Because of all these things, these are considered to be a push factors. Means what? It pushes the people out of agriculture. Pushes people out of agriculture. On the other hand, there is pull factor. What are the pull factors? Pull factor is there is other employment available in other arenas, like your Ajivika Yojana, DAY, NRLM, National Rural Livelihood Mission. Under that, there is employment available. Under this Gramina Kaushal Vikas Yojana, there is skill employment. Also you have Manrega Yojana. Also you have microfinance units. You have farmer producer you have this food processing industries, right? There are so many other ventures where the farmers are or the people in the rural areas are seeking employment. That is why there is a change of share from agriculture to non-farm employment. So today it is only 50%. Then you have in this 50%, actually even though 50% is involved in agriculture, not all the 50% is required to be in agriculture, right? So what happens? There is a farm. So here comes the concept of disguised unemployment. Disguised unemployment. What is disguised unemployment? See, suppose let's say there is a farm. There is a farm. To maintain this farm, including sowing of the seeds, harvesting, for everything, let's say there is only one person is sufficient. One person. But due to non-availability of any other employment, what happens? Three people will be focusing on these works, right? Even though one person is sufficient to look after the entire farm, three people will be looking after it, because those extra two people will not have any other work. So this is called as disguised unemployment. That is, employment is there, but it is disguised. That is, it is not required, right? Unrequired employment is called as disguised unemployment. This is the one of the tragedy of Indian farm sector. Next you have Indian Rural Development Report. This report says that this report is published by the IDFC organization, Indian Development of Farm Cooperative, some organization. This has published the Indian Rural Development Report. Indian Rural Development Report. So it says that non-farm growth opportunities should be there. That is, not only in the farm sector, there should be growth opportunities outside the farm sector. That is being said by the Indian Rural Development Report 2012-13 published by IDFC. Non-farm growth opportunities should be there. So you can use this point in your mains answer. How? Which report? The report, that is this report, IDFC report, says that there should be emphasis on non-farm employment. Non-farm employment. Why non-farm? And benefit. See, why non-farm? I told you. Why there is requirement of non-farm employment. Why non-farm? I told you why non-farm is there are various push factors. I told you there is degradation of land. There is the farming is not remunerative, right? There is increase in the farm loans, right? And there is no proper support for farmers. Because of all these things, there is emphasis on non-farm activities, the activities which are not related to farm. What are the benefits? Benefits of non-farm activities. Farming is it is seasonal, whereas non-farm activities are not seasonal. They are available throughout the year. That is one of the benefits. Apart from that, non-farm activities are actually remunerative more than the farm activities. That is the second thing. Then non-farm activities provides lot of employment opportunities. That is the third thing. Likewise, there are many benefits and there are many support for non-farm activities by the government today. So non-farm activities has lot of support. All these are the benefits or the benefit of the non-farm activity. So what are the barriers? What are the barriers towards, that is the shortcomings of non-farm activity? What are the barriers of non-farm activity? See, when we speak of barriers, actually, with respect to non-farm activity, see, there is very low skill among the population. The skill level among the population is very less. That is the first barrier. Next is, there is no capital to start non-farm activity. Bandwala illa, right? That is the second barrier. Then the third thing is, there is no proper infrastructure. Electricity problem is there. Internet connectivity problem is there. Road connectivity problem is there. That is the third barrier, right? Likewise, there are many barriers to start the non-farm activities. Like, and the fourth problem, you can say there is no availability of credit. Banks won't give any loan. And fifth is, with respect to non-farm activities, there is very less awareness. People do not have any awareness with respect to the non-farm activities, right? Then I told you about the push and pull factors. Push factors pushing people out of agriculture, pull factors pulling people into the non-farm or non-agricultural activities. So here, so we will take the example of Punjab and UP. See, Punjab has lot of pull factors. Why Punjab has pull factors? You have the Green Revolution. Under Green Revolution, Punjab benefited a lot, right? Punjab and Haryana. That is why under the farm protest, it was largely the farmers from Punjab and Bihar, Punjab and Haryana who protested, right? So they have benefited a lot from under the MSP regime and also Green Revolution, right? So here you take the example of Punjab. Punjab is a agriculturally prosperous state. So it has lot of pull factors for people, pull factors, right? Whereas UP agriculturally it is not so prosperous. So there are lot of laborers, agricultural laborers are there. So these laborers have a lot of push factors because agriculture is not remunerative. They have a lot of push factors. So they migrate. They migrate from where? From UP to Punjab. Because of push factors, it pushes people out of UP, and in Punjab, the laborers are attracted. Laborers are pulled inside. Right? This is about the push and pull factors in Punjab and UP. That is why there is seasonal migration between UP and Punjab. Right? Okay. Then you have, with respect to non-farm employment, what are the non-farm employment? How non-farm employment is supported by the government? What are the provisions or what are the schemes devised by the government in order to promote the non-farm employment, right? The scheme is, the first is Prime Minister Gram Sadak Yojana. That is laying of roads to all the villages, right? So now we have PMGSY 2.0. Now is the time for PMGSY 2.0. So under this PMGSY 2.0, not only laying the roads to all villages, but connectivity within the villages. That is, from the village to the market, from the village to the school, from the village to the hospital. So whatever connectivity within the village, that is also being looked after under PMGSY. So when there is proper roads, there will be increase in non-farm employment. When there is proper road in the villages, it will lead to increase in non-farm employment. Then Manrega provides non-farm employment. Like what kind of employment will be provided under Manrega? That is cleaning of village tanks. Cleaning of village tanks will be done. Laying of roads will be done, right? And various other jobs will be done under the Manrega. That is one thing. Then you have Krishi Sinchai Yojana. PM Krishi Sinchai Yojana, under which watershed development, rainwater harvesting, all these things are there. So under that also non-farm employment is provided. And you have DAY, Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana, National Rural Livelihood Mission. Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana, National Rural Livelihood Mission. Under this National Rural Livelihood Mission also, there is provision of, under this National Rural Livelihood Mission also, there is provision of non-farm employment. Non-farm employment. What is the provision under NRLM? You have microfinance. You have self-help groups formed under National Rural Livelihood Mission. Self-help groups. For these self-help groups, microfinance is given. Microfinance. That is finance on the small finance is given to them. They can start their own self-employment. Own self-employment could be started under DAYNRLM. Next you have then under this Ajivika. So this was earlier called as Ajivika Yojana. It provides support for non-farm employment. Next you have it focuses on, that is non-farm gainful employment. What do you mean by gainful employment? It is that employment where we can derive some financial gains. Financial gains can be derived out of it. That is the gainful employment, right? Okay. Next, we will focus on feminization of agriculture. What is this concept of feminization of agriculture? Increasing women participation in agriculture is called as feminization of agriculture. See, yesterday we celebrated Women's Day, right? So, but with respect to agriculture, more and more women are getting into agriculture. This is both positive and negative. See, woman gets into agriculture at the higher level, that is as a investor. If she owns her own land, owns the land, if she is the manager, if she owns the land, she is the authority, controlling authority of the land. She is the decision maker with respect to the land. So if all these things are there, then it is good for her. But with respect to feminization of agriculture, it is not this. It is not this. Rather, feminization is focusing on women agricultural laborers. That is, women are getting into agriculture. Women are getting into agriculture as laborers, farm laborers. So, daily wage laborers. That is why it is considered as negative, because it increases the burden. It increases the burden on the woman. It increases the burden on the woman. How? So, they will do what? Apart from working in the field, they will have burden of taking care of home plus working in the field. So there are two burdens will be there, because of which feminization of agriculture is a negative thing, right? So this is feminization of agriculture. It is not seen in the developed countries. Developed countries, actually only male are engaged in the agriculture, whereas in India, that is India and other developing countries, in developing countries we see this phenomena of feminization of agriculture, right, in developing countries. So on the positive side, I told you that this has got both positive and negative. So what is the positive? The positive is it increases the confidence. It increases the confidence of women. See, women are involved in labor, that is farm labor. What happens? They get their daily wage in their hands, that, right? They have financial independency, right? They will be outside their home. They are not stuck to their home. So it is actually giving them freedom and exposure to outside society, and also it is a challenge to patriarchal norms, right? Women are making their own decisions because of financial independence. Because of all this, feminization on the positive side has increased the confidence. It increased the confidence of women, right? And you have, with respect, I told you, if women are getting engaged in agriculture, it is actually globally it is a positive sign. Globally it is a positive sign. Why it is a positive sign across the world? Because across the world, what happens? Women are engaging in high level agriculture, at the highest level, that is as an investor, as the owner of the land, as I said. But that is why globally women engaging in agriculture is a positive sign. Whereas with respect to India, it is not a positive sign, it is negative. Why it is negative? Because they are engaging just as farm laborers. They are engaged in the capacity of farm laborers, where the wages are very less, right? That is why it is negative, right? So farm laborers, there is a increase in 24%. women farm laborers, there is an increase in 24%. 24% rise is there. From which year to which year? Up to from 2019 to 2020. In that 1 year itself, there is a 24% rise. 24% rise in women participating in agriculture as farm laborers. Economic survey 2017. So what is economic survey? So just before the budget, the entire year's survey would be carried out by the government, and they will give the document. So it is actually given in the name of Chief Economic Advisor to the government, CEA. He will give the document in his name, and that will be published every year just before the day of budget. That is economic survey. Economic survey 2017 says that why women are getting engaged more and more in agriculture. Why women are engaging more and more in agriculture? It says because of migration. That is, whose migration? Men are migrating from villages to cities. When men are migrating from villages to cities, women are left behind. And also the cost of living is increasing, because of which women are forced to come as agricultural laborers or farm laborers, right? Not only as agricultural laborers, they have to take care of their home, household work. They have to take care of the children, because of which they are engaged in multiple roles. It is increasing the burden on women. This feminization of agriculture is increasing the burden on women, right? Okay. So there are 10 crore farm laborers. In India there are 10 crore farm laborers, out of which 6 crore laborers are women. 6 crore laborers are women, farm laborers, right? This is a fact. So what is the negatives of this? Why I told you in India it is a women engaging in agriculture in India is a negative sign. Why in India it is a negative sign? Because low wages. Women are being paid low wages. See, even today in the villages, men are paid approximately 800 rupees per day, but women are paid just 500 rupees, right? So low wages for women, and also mechanization. So even though the woman wants to participate in the farm, as a farm labor, she is not finding opportunities, because mechanization, farms are being mechanized. That is, sowing of the seed, harvesting of the crops, weeding, right? Spread of fertilizer and pesticides. All these things will be done by the machines, because of which women are not finding job. Then apart from that, women do not have land rights. That is a negative. That is, the land is not owned by the women. They are working either in their husband's field or in someone else's field, right? So this is also with respect to the inheritance rights. See, if a person has 5 children, 3 are sons and 2 daughters, actually the property will be divided among the sons. So even though the government says there is equal right for inheritance for women, it is not being followed. That is why there is no land rights for women. Right? Then there is credit issue. Why there is credit issue? See, when you will get loan from the bank when you have land in your name. When you don't have a land in your name, you won't get credit easily. So bank sala sigadilla. That is one of the negative. Then insurance. There is no insurance for the field. Suppose a flood happens. Suppose some insect will come into the crop. Insect bite will happen, or there is swarms like locust attack. So these insects will come from the African region and attack as swarms. They will eat down all the crops, right? And there is no rain. If there is no rain, then insurance is needed. So insurance is also not being provided. So these are some of the negatives of women in agriculture. Negatives with respect to what happens. The negatives when women participate in agriculture. These are the negatives. Next you have Rashtriya Mahila Kisan Divas is being practiced because women are participating more and more in agriculture. We are celebrating a day. The day is October 5th. Just in order to support the women, in order to measures to support women in agriculture, in farm labor. What are the measures? The first measure is gender budgeting. Gender budgeting means what? See, whatever the expenditure, that is, if the government outlays 100 crore, how much money out of that 100 crore will benefit the woman? Will benefit the woman in various sectors. That is the concept of gender budgeting. Next you have SHG microcredit. Credit concept is there. Self-help group, microcredit. So women are being provided small scale finance in order to promote investment in agriculture or in various other fields. That is also supporting the feminization of or increase the efficiency of women in agriculture. Next you have the concept of farmer producer organization. Farmer producer organization. What is this farmer producer organization? See, it is a collective of farmers or a cooperative of farmers. Many farmers in a village or across the villages, they will come and form a cooperative. That cooperative is called as farmer producer organization, FPO, right? So why there is a need for FPO? One is the land is fragmented in India. Fragmented land, that is a villager, see, let's say a farmer has 2 acres of land, 2 or 5 acres of land. 1 acre will be here, 1 acre will be somewhere in the village, another half acre will be here, 1 more acre will be there. So land is fragmented, it is divided into various things, at various places within the village. That is one thing. Also, individual land holding is very, very less. If you compare the overall land holding of all the farmers and the individual land holding, actually individually a person holds very less land, right? So there is, if you compare it with the Western countries, I told you the example of United States. United States, a farm will be as big as a taluk in India, right? So individual farmer in India, and that will be owned by one single person, one single farmer. Whereas in India, if individual farmer will own very small chunk of land. That is the fragmentation of land. Then modern technology is not there, right, in the farming sector. And small and marginal farmers. So what is the definition of small and marginal farmer? A marginal farmer is one who owns up to 2.5 acres of land. Up to 2.5 acres or 1 hectare. If a person owns 2.5 acres or 1 hectare of land, he is considered a marginal farmer. Who is a small farmer? From up to 5 acres or 1 hectare to 2 hectare. That person is called small farmer, right? So these two sections, that is small farmer and marginal farmer, they own 47% of land. In India, if there is 100% of net sown area, 100% of agricultural area, 47% of the land is owned by whom? Small and marginal farmers. Then you have, so what are the benefits? Benefits of having a farmer producer organization. I'll tell you the benefits here itself. Since the lands are fragmented, small chunks here and there, farmer producer organization, since it is a cooperative, they will bring together all the land. When all the land is brought together, sowing can be done easily and also harvesting can be done together. So the productivity will be high, output will be high, right? So that is one thing. And since farmer producer organization will have so many farmers in one cooperative, they can together implement modern technology. Modern technology could be implemented, and since most of them are small and marginal, it will help them. That is the third thing. But under farmer producer organization, the individual farmer will still be owning the land. So the individual farmer will not sell the land to FPO, right? Whereas FPO together will be having lot of farmers who come together for many benefits. The benefits, these are some of the benefits. Then cheap inputs. If individual farmer goes and buys the inputs to agricultural field, it will be costly, right? But together if they buy, the inputs will be cheap because they can bargain together. Then market assistance, that is, if an individual farmer wants to go and sell his product, it is difficult. Some might get good price, some might get bad price. If there is a farmer producer organization, they will collectively together go and find the, or somebody will go and find the best price, and all of them will sell the products to that at that best price. Market assistance will be there, and also mechanization. Everybody together can bring in machines to help in the farm sector. So that is also a benefit. So this FPO is a legal entity. It is a legal entity. So FPO is given a recognition by the government. Government has recognized the farmer producer organization. That is why it is a legal entity of primary producers. Primary producers, who are the primary producers? It is not only the farmers. It includes milk producers. It includes fishermen and farmers. Everybody is included under the primary producers, right? So FPOs are registered under Cooperative Societies Act and also under Companies Act. They are either registered. So if you have a, since I told you it is a legal entity recognized by the government. Under what? Under the Cooperative Societies Act or the Companies Act. Either under these two acts, the farmer producer organizations are recognized. Next you have what are the functions? These farmer producer organizations, what function do they carry out? It carries out the function of procurement. That is, it is going to procure all the food products produced by the farmer. That is for procurement. Then they will provide, farmer producer organization will provide market information. See where your product will get maximum profit, right? What kind of products are actually in demand in the market, right? So when this information is provided to the farmer, he will ensure that he will grow the right crop and sell the crop at a right place. So this market information is provided by FPO. And also technology dissemination. So whatever the modern technology that is in vogue, that is in practice, that will be given to the farmers by the farmer producer organization. Then finance will be given to the farmers in order to invest more in the field. Finance will be given, and they need not depend on the bank, right? They can take it from the FPO. Storage facilities will be given. See, if an individual farmer grows a crop, he will take that crop and store it in his house. There is a possibility of it getting spoiled. But if you have some proper scientific storage, crops will be, or the produce will be stored in that storage. Storage facility will be given by the FPO. Then processing facility. That is, I told you. So first the paddy will be harvested and the rice husk will be removed from the rice seedling, right? So that is called processing. And also the wheat. The wheat seedling will be taken and it will be processed into wheat atta, right? That is processing. In that processing also, FPO, Farmer Producer Organization, will provide support. And also FPO themselves can have a brand, right? They can register themselves as a brand. If they get registered themselves as a brand, what happens? They will have a lot of benefit. That is, if they give good products, that brand will become famous. So people will seek products only from that brand. That is, it will have a brand value. Brand value, all the farmers selling to that FPO will get a brand value. And also FPO does the packaging. So the packaging will be good, right? Earlier they would individual farmer would sell the products in gunny bag. Now there will be proper packaging will be done for the products. And also marketing support will be given, and also export supports. These FPOs, see, individual farmer will not be aware of this export benefit and all those benefits, but FPO will explore the export benefit. Then, so which are the organizations which are supporting the farmer producer organizations? Which banks support the farmer producer organizations? Which government entities support the farmer producer organization? NABARD supports the farmer producer organizations, NABARD. Next you have SFAC, Small Finance Agri Consortium. Small Finance Agri Consortium. So they, Small Farmers Agri Consortium, they support the farmer producer organization. Then you have 2019 budget. Under 2019 budget, it aimed to have 10,000 FPOs. That is, in the India, it aimed to support 10,000 farmer producer organizations. Which budget? 2019 budget. Next you have small and marginal. So for this, what are the one more benefit is this small farmer producer organization. This organization is beneficial for the small and marginal farmers. How it is beneficial? It provides economies of scale. What do you mean by economies of scale? Economies of scale means selling in bulk. If individual farmer is selling his individual product, will not have any value. But if he is selling through FPO, there will be lot of benefits. One is the bargaining power. The FPO will have more, the FPO as an organization will have more bargaining power compared to individual farmer, right? So it will lead to economies of scale, and also the farmer producer organization will be given tax holiday. Tax holiday, that is, tax exemptions are given to the farmer producer organization, right? So these are the benefits of the farmer producer organization. Next you have terms of trade. Terms of trade. See, terms of trade means relative profitability compared to other sectors. How profitable is the agriculture? How profitable is the farming sector compared to other sectors? That is the concept of terms of trade. It speaks about how relatively it is profitable compared to other sectors. So, changing input cost and output prices. It speaks about change in input cost and output prices. So, with change in input cost, that is, you invest more in the agriculture, you put more and more investment in the agriculture, will it have any impact on the output prices? Or if you reduce the input cost, if the input cost is reduced, that is, fertilizer cost is reduced, electricity cost is reduced, seed cost is reduced, will it have any impact on the output prices? How output prices are dependent on input cost, that is also spoken under the terms of trade. One is the relative price, the relative profit of the agriculture with respect to other sectors. The second is how the output cost will change with respect to input cost. That is the second thing that is spoken in the terms of trade. Favorable terms of trade. When will the terms of trade be favorable? When will it be favorable? When there is good investment. See, when there is favorable trade terms of trade, that is, see, when there is, I told you, change in input cost will lead to output prices. If the input cost is reduced, output price, how will it be impacted? If the terms of trade, that is, the input cost is less, what happens? It will lead to lot of investment. If the input cost is less, more and more people will invest in the agricultural sector, right? So it is called favorable trade of terms of trade. And if the input cost is less and the output prices are good, what happens? there will be food security. Food security will be there. That is, what do you mean by food security? There is sufficient food available for the population, right? Because since the input cost is less, output prices are good. Remunerative price is the farmer is getting remunerative price. What happens? He will produce more and more. When he produces more and more, it will lead to increased food security. This is the profit. This is the benefit of favorable terms of trade, right? So, globalization, that is connecting of India throughout the world. LPG 1991, it boosted the terms of trade. It boosted the terms of trade. How did it boost the terms of trade? That is more investment and food security. How did it boost the terms of trade? One is exports. More and more agricultural products were exported. More and more FDI, FPI. That is, in the investment, in the input, there is more and more FDI is coming into agriculture. More and more FPI, foreign portfolio investment into commodity exchange. See, FPI cannot invest directly in agriculture because FPIs are investment in stock exchanges. So where they can invest in the commodity exchange. Commodity exchange. Right? First is FDI. More and more FDI, that is investment is coming into agriculture, and next is FPI. So next, there is no tax. Agriculture will not have any tax, right? Agriculture is not, tax sector is non-taxable. So because of which input price is reducing, right? It is leading to what? Favorable terms of trade. Then export, agri export is out of the total export. The total export is 100%. 12% export is agri export, right? Since export is increasing, it will lead to more remuneration and thereby more investment, thereby more favorable terms of trade. This is the concept of terms of trade. Next, you have taxing agricultural income. Should agricultural income be taxed? Okay. So, see, today agricultural income is not taxable. It is not being taxed. Whereas, I told you, see, in India, 90% or 86.2% of farmers are small and marginal, right? They have just 46% of land. Rest 14% of farmers, that is big farmers, they are owning 54% of land. So what would be the right suggestion is, we should not tax this section. Small and marginal farmers we should not tax, whereas large farmers, this 14% of the farmers we should tax. That is the that should be the right decision, right? So we have taxing agriculture income. So agriculture comes under which list? It falls under the state list, right? Agriculture falls under the state list. So what will be the positive? What will be the benefit if the agriculture is taxed? The first benefit is it will lead to more and more tax revenue to the government. It will lead to more tax revenue to the government, that is budgetary income to the government. Then it will lead to capital formation, right? So if the agricultural income is taxed, what happens? More and more capital formation, that is more and more investment. See how you might ask how taxation will lead to more investment. See, one is when taxation happens, what happens? The income to the government will increase. And capital formation, because this income government is going to reinvest in agriculture. So it leads to capital formation, that is more and more capital in agriculture. Then horizontal equity. So this taxing of agriculture will bring in horizontal equity. What is horizontal equity? We are taxing all the sectors. All sectors are being taxed. Why not agriculture? So if we tax agriculture also, it will bring equity among all the sectors. That is the next thing. Then those people who are rich in agriculture, those persons who are rich in agriculture deserves to be taxed. They deserve to be taxed. So that is one thing, right? Next, what are the negatives? Negatives of taxing the agriculture. The first negative is flight of capital. See, if you tax the agricultural sector, the capital will go to some other sector. Not many people will invest in agriculture. So this capital formation is with respect to government investment when taxation happens. But when private sector will not invest in the agriculture, capital will flow out of the agriculture. That is one thing. Next, food security. See, if taxation happens, what happens? The income to farmers will come down. It will lead to less investment, less crop production. So food security will be hampered. Also, if taxation is done for everyone, irrespective of their background, for everyone taxation is done, rich, poor, farmers, what happens? Not many people will join agriculture. So food security will be threatened. And also there is already indirect tax is there. How indirect tax is there in agriculture? See, whatever indirect tax is there, what is indirect taxation? One is indirect taxation as in, it is not as in the indirect tax in the products available in the market, but there is no proper storage, no proper market facility, no proper support to input or suboptimal input. So all these acts as a taxation. All these acts as a income reducing measure, right? When these things are there, why should we tax? So that is the negatives. Then you have agricultural subsidy. So subsidy, where all we are providing subsidy in the agriculture. We are providing subsidy to food subsidy, that is public distribution system. There we are providing subsidy. Then we are providing subsidy to fertilizer. Fertilizer subsidy is being provided. Then we are providing subsidy at the credit, right? The government or the banks will give loan, but most of the time those loan will be waived. Krishi Sala Manna, farm loan waiver will happen. Or also, if you pay the credit loan, if you pay the loan properly, what happens? The interest rate will be reduced. That is also a subsidy. Then electricity subsidy is given. So what are the challenges of this subsidy? What are the challenges of this subsidy? See, subsidy is given to all the farmers, rich, poor, everyone. So it leads to inequity. That is the first challenge. It leads to drain of government resources. Right? Then it is against World Trade Organization norms. Subsidies against World Trade Organization norms. What are the other challenges with respect to subsidy? Right? It leads to bad credit culture. It leads to cross subsidization. Cross subsidization means what? So, because agriculture sector we are providing subsidy, we will impose more tax on other sectors. Cross subsidization will happen. These are the negatives, and also it will lead to moral hazard. Moral hazard as in those who are even able to pay actual price, they will also sit and wait for government to provide subsidy. So all these are the negatives of subsidy in agriculture sector. Next, sustainable agriculture. What is sustainable agriculture? Organic agriculture is considered sustainable agriculture. Organic agriculture is that agriculture where we use organic manure, or we are not using chemical manure, pesticides. That is organic agriculture. Sustainable agriculture means what? Agriculture will be sustainable. That is, it is going to be for a long period, right? So it is not going to deteriorate the land. It is not going to cause harm to the soil, right? The productivity will not become less. It is not going to harm the environment, right? It is going to give proper remuneration to the farmer. All these are the concepts of sustainable agriculture. Organic agriculture, then you have zero budget natural farming. Zero budget natural farming. What is zero budget natural farming? See, it means zero budget. That is, not even 1 rupee, not even 1 rupee is invested. No investment on seed, no investment on fertilizer, no investment on electricity, not even a single rupee investment. Then natural farming. Natural means whatever the inputs are provided to the agriculture, it is natural inputs. That is natural manure, natural cow urine, a natural rice husk, or natural cow dung. All these are provided. That is zero budget natural farming. Natural farming. Next, sustainable agriculture, micro irrigation. If you see, instead of providing macro irrigation means what? Flooding the agricultural field. So instead of that kind of irrigation, micro irrigation means sprinkler irrigation, drip irrigation, right? So small irrigation on a small scale, right? Per drop, more crop under PMKSY, Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. Yesterday I discussed. That is micro irrigation. That is sustainable agriculture. Then even genetically modified organism. See, you might not agree that genetically modified organism is a sustainable agriculture, but since genetically modified organisms is going to increase the yield, it is going to reduce the pest, reduce the input cost, all these things. That is why genetically modified agriculture products, food products, that is BT brinjal, BT cotton, BT mustard. So those can be also be called as sustainable agriculture. So sustainable agriculture and water management. Sustainable agriculture and water management. See how water management will lead to sustainable agriculture. See, if you are taking excess water from the ground, if you are taking excess water from the canals, right? If you are taking excess water from the lakes, then it is not going to contribute to the sustainable agriculture. On the other hand, you are implementing micro irrigation, you are implementing watershed development, you are implementing the scheme of rainwater harvesting. So all this is the concept of good water management, in turn contributing to the sustainable agriculture, right? So rain-fed areas. So India is largely a monsoon kind of climate, right? Indian agriculture is dependent on the monsoons. So there are rain-fed agriculture. Up to 70% of Indian area, 70% of India's net sown area is dependent on monsoon. Dependent on monsoon, right? That is rain-fed areas, rain-fed agriculture. So with respect to water management, rain-fed areas, actually it is difficult. If there is good rain, there will be sustainable agriculture. If the rain fails, the sustainable agriculture will also fail. Next, you have the problem of tail enders. What is tail enders in agriculture? See, suppose there is a river, right? So here there are fields, upper area, upper riparian area. Here there are lower riparian area. These people will use all the water from the river or a canal, and there will be little water left to the lower areas. So this is the problem of tail enders. That is, tail region will not get any water. You can take the issue of Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu always says Karnataka is using the Kaveri water excess. So Tamil Nadu is facing from tail ender problem, right? Next, you have participatory irrigation management. What do you mean by participatory irrigation management? It means participation of the farmers. Farmers is going to participate in the management of irrigation. They are going to participate in the groundwater management, rainwater management, lake water management, river water management, watershed development, rainwater harvesting. So if they participate, what will happen? It will lead to crowd management of the resources. That is actually a good model. So it is practiced in Andhra Pradesh. It is also practiced in Gujarat. Participatory management of the the participatory irrigation management. So it is also called as Varabandi system. Participatory irrigation management is also called as Varabandi system. Then you have command area development. What do you mean by command area? See, let us say this is one village or group of villages. This area considers a group of, consists of a group of village. So whatever the rain or the groundwater or any other water resource within this area is called as command area. So you can link it with rainwater. So if the rainwater falls within this region, so this is the command area of this rainwater. Or if you have a lake, right, this lake water is utilized in this area. So the command area of this lake is this much. If you have a bore well, so it is going to supply water to this area. So this is the command area of this bore well. So command area development in that area where this water source or water aquifer. So aquifer is the source of water, right? So where the aquifer is supplying the water in that command area, how do we develop it? Assured irrigation. There should be assured irrigation, right? So command area focuses on assured irrigation. That is, our irrigation water for the farm will be always available. That is assured irrigation. Next you have optimal usage. Even though water is available in the assured way, it will be used in an optimal way. It should be used in an optimal way. These two things are the formula of command area development. Next you have the concept of drought, Baragala. So Indian Meteorological Organization considers drought into four categories. There is a concept called long period average. What is long period average? It may be some 5 years or 10 years. Over the 10 years, what is the average rainfall? That is long period average. So if the rainfall this year, that is this particular year, if it is between 96% of the long period average to 104%, let's say the long period average is 100 liters. So if the rainfall today this year is 96 liters or 97 or up to 104 liters, then it is called, the rainfall is called near normal. The rainfall that year is called near normal. If it is between 90 liters to 96 liters, 90% to 96%, then it is called below normal rainfall. And if it is between 104 liters to 110 liters, the long period average is 100 liters. So if it is between 104 liters to 110 liters, it is called as above normal. So that is the third category. Totally there are 5 categories. If it is more than 110 liters or 110%, it is called excess rainfall. Then if it is below the 90%, it is called deficient rainfall, right? Okay. So there are droughts. With respect to droughts, there are 3 types of drought. One is meteorological drought. Meteorological drought deals with no rainfall. If there is no rainfall, then it is called as meteorological drought. No rainfall or shortage of rainfall is called meteorological drought. What is hydrological drought? If there is no groundwater, if there is no lake water, right? If there is no reservoir water, then it is called hydrological drought. This is with respect to rainfall, first one. Second is with respect to water reservoirs, underground water, all those things. Next, agricultural drought. What is agricultural drought? It deals with the soil moisture. If the moisture in the soil is less, it is called as agricultural drought, right? These are the three types of drought. It is very important from your preliminary examination perspective, the definitions. Next, you have symptoms. See, when there is a drought, it will give certain symptoms. The drought is not going to occur suddenly. If there is a drought, there it is going to give certain symptoms. What are the symptoms? First, see, there are various types of, first it will be various types of symptoms. First, there will be the rainfall will delay. The rainfall which is supposed to set in June will be delayed. Will be delayed by 1 month. That is the symptom of drought. Then there is a break in monsoon, break in rainfall. If it is from June to September, the entire July month in between will not have rain. That is called the break in monsoon or break in rainfall. That is a symptom of drought. Then you have when there is less rain. I told you, if it is below 90%, then it is a symptom of drought. Then you have if there is fall in reservoir level, fall in the all your KRS dam, Kabini dam, all these dams, if the reservoir level falls, that is also symptom of drought, right? Okay. So when the drought is severe, it is called as disaster. When the drought becomes severe, right? When the rainfall is below the normal, below 90%, disaster. When no rain for more than 6 weeks. If the drought is severe and there is no rain for more than 6 weeks, it is called as disaster. So 20 to 40% of India, they had a drought year, have a drought year every year. 20 to 40%, if the 20 to 40% of India has a drought, it is called a drought year. And 100% India, up to 20 to 40% of India is having drought, it is called drought year. If more than 40% of India is having a drought, it is called severe all India severe drought year. It is called all India severe drought year. If more than 40% of India is having drought. So states are responsible to take care of the drought. Though National Disaster Management Authority has little role, IMD also has little role. Primarily, it is so actually the drought prone area development program, it is given by the DPAP, drought prone area development program, DPADP. So it is promulgated or enacted by this program is conducted by the central government, but the major responsibility with respect to managing the drought is with the states, right? So what are the advisories with respect to drought? What are the advisory with respect to drought? So advisory in order to prevent drought. So first is advisories and steps. We can take it together. So the advisories given by the scientific organizations and also the government in order to prevent drought. What are the advisories? Don't plant water guzzling crops. Wheat, rice, you should reduce that. That is one advisory. Don't use the water excessively. Groundwater, don't exploit excessively. Manage or use water optimally. That is the second advisory, right? And there are many other. So you plant those plants which consume less water. That is the third advisory. Then fourth is don't spoil the groundwater, don't spoil water resources, and also have rainwater harvesting. So all these are the advisories with respect to managing drought. So what are the steps? What are the steps? The steps is you can have what? Watershed area development, that is one step, right? Then rainwater harvesting is a step. Then also you have this command area development program, that is also a step to reduce drought, right? Apart from that, Prime Minister Krishi Sinchai Yojana, that is one step, right? And also building artificial reservoirs, artificial ponds, that is also a step. So there are many steps to prevent the drought. One is the advisory given by government. Next is the steps taken by the farmers themselves too. And also afforestation, building or planting more and more trees. That is also a step. So what is the impact of drought? What will be the impact of drought? You know what is the impact of drought. There will be less food, less fodder for animals, right? Farmer suicide, food security will be threatened, right? There will be migration. All these are the impacts of drought. What are the remedies? Remedies I told you. So one is irrigation should be increased. More canals should be built. So you can have interstate, river water linkage program could be followed. River water linkage program, yeah, that can be followed, right? And also we can have many other irrigation, canals, river water linkage program, that is also a remedy. Then we can maintain proper data, right? And also soil health cards using proper fertilizers, right? So as to not to spoil the groundwater, maintaining moisture, all these are remedies. And also moving away from agriculture into non-farm is also a remedy, right? So also reducing the dependency on monsoon is also a remedy, right? Rain-fed agriculture. So I told you 70%. So I told you it is actually 68%. 68% of net sown area is rain-fed, right? So agriculture minimum norm. So what is the norm? If the rainfall is below 750 mm, and that particular area is dependent, at least 50% of the area is dependent on. So which area is called as rain-fed? Andre, there should be 750 mm of rainfall. 750 mm of rainfall and 50% of the area should be dependent on the rainfall, right? So then it is called as a rain-fed agriculture. 750 mm rainfall and at least 50% of the area should be rain-fed. That is, the crop should be grown on rain. So that is rain-fed agriculture. That is the minimum norm. 68% of net sown area. If India 100% net sown area is there, 68% of the area is rain-fed in India. So role. So 48% role of this rain-fed agriculture. 48% food crops. 48% of food crops and 50% of rural workforce are dependent on rain-fed agriculture. 48% food crops are dependent on rain. 50% of rural workforce is dependent on rain. So what are the steps to amalgamate or to move away from rain-fed agriculture, right? So or what are the negatives of rain-fed agriculture? See, in this rain-fed agriculture, the sulfur and phosphorus content will be very less. In the rain-fed agricultural areas, sulfur, which is a mineral, and phosphorus, which is a mineral required for the soil. So there will be deficiency and the soil will be acidic. The soil will be acidic in nature in rain-fed agriculture. Acidic soil will be there. And there, so what should be done? What should be done in order to promote, in order to augment the rain-fed agriculture? One is irrigation should be supplied, more and more irrigation, alternative irrigation. That is, canal should be built, right? Or you can have optimum extraction of the groundwater. Optimum extraction of groundwater could be done. So also appropriate cropping pattern. If the cropping pattern is more and more consuming of water, that is also bad. So if we have cropping pattern which is good, then we can follow the rain-fed agriculture itself with minimum extra water. Then we can also depend on livestock development. Livestock development, that is, instead of in the rain-fed agriculture areas, if the rain is less, we can grow livestock like sheep, cow, all those things. We can grow as a alternative employment. That is also a step, right? So next you have watershed program can be followed. Watershed program can be followed in order to augment the rain-fed. We need not just depend on rain. We can follow the watershed development, right? Watershed development I have discussed already in other class. So watershed means what? If the rain is shedding on if there is, let's say, this is the boundary of a village. If the rain is, or a group of villages, if the rain is shedding within the region, all the rain will be within this region only, all the water. This is called as watershed. Shedding of water over a particular region is called as watershed. That is watershed development. If we develop this, what happens? There will be optimum usage of water. Optimum usage and large availability of water, right? So that is watershed program, right? So also we can have agro processing units and horticulture. So whatever if the rain-fed agriculture, if there is negatives in the form of no market, or the benefit or the profit is very less, what we can do is we can follow agro processing, that we can add value to the products and sell it. That is one thing. And we can also follow horticulture. Horticulture means fruits and vegetables. That also we can grow and sell. Next, in the rain-fed agriculture only, we can have this concept of lab to land transfer. Lab to land transfer. See, in the rain-fed agriculture, what happens? The crop will be largely dependent on rain. Largely on rain. What can be done is we can grow certain crops in the lab. Those crops which require less water, then it can be transferred on the land. It can be transferred to the land. So this research can also be done with respect to rain-fed agriculture. Next you have agriculture productivity. Agriculture productivity. What is productivity? Utpadakate. Utpadakate is called productivity. So the definition is ratio of outputs to inputs. If you provide 100 rupees of input, what is the output you are going to get? Right? That is, if you invest 100 rupees, how much crops can you grow? That is productivity. The definition is ratio of outputs to inputs. Ratio of outputs to inputs, right? So it is the efficiency of use of inputs. Agricultural productivity speaks of the efficient use of inputs. If we see what happens, inputs, that is fertilizer, irrigation, seedlings. If we use it efficiently, what happens? When the usage is efficient, what happens? The output will be more. When the input usage is efficient, output will be more. When the output will be more, agriculture productivity will be more. Agriculture productivity will be more, right? Okay. So, what are the factors of agriculture productivity? What are the factors of agriculture productivity? See, one is if the soil is fertile, that is a good factor for agriculture productivity. Then, if there is proper irrigation, that is a good factor. If there is proper fertilizer, that is a good factor. If there is usage of proper technology, that is a factor in agriculture productivity. If there is scientific farming, that is also a factor. So all these factors contribute to the agriculture productivity. All of them contribute to the agriculture productivity. Next, what are the benefits of productivity? Utpadakate jasti ade enagutte. There will be more yield, there will be more profit, right? Because of profit, there will be more investment, there is more a loan available, and it will lead to excess income of the farmer which he can invest in education, health. So all these are the benefits of agri productivity. Low productivity, but in India we do not have high productivity, we have low productivity. So in per hectare, 1 hectare is 2.5 acres. So per hectare the rice being grown in India is just 3 ton, 3000 kgs. So it is actually very less, right? Wheat only 3.15 ton, it is very less, right? Reasons, what are the reasons for less productivity? The first reason is the size of land is very less. India, there is fragmentation of land, right? For one farmer there will be 5 children, all of them divide the land, so the lands will be very small chunks, right? Fragmentation of land is one reason, that is size of land. Then irrigation, there is no proper irrigation. When there is no water available, how can we expect good productivity, right? That is one reason. Then market, there is no market, that is when the market is there is no benefit for the, or the access to market is very less. Even when market is there, the benefit is less for the farmer, there is middleman. So when that is there, he will not invest in the agriculture, thereby productivity will be less. Then you have finance, there is no finance. When there is no finance, how can we invest in agriculture and increase the productivity? That is there. Then there is soil. Soil fertility is low in India. That is also a factor of less productivity, right? Okay. Next you have drought response. What should be drought response? I have already discussed. So how do we respond to the drought? One we have, you have this NDRF and SDRF. They also provide response. Central government will provide response. I told you drought prone area development program, and you have aspirational district program under which also drought response is done. You have IMD alerts, that is also a drought response. State governments are providing support, that is also a drought response. Likewise, there are many civil society response as well. Individual response is there. Like in our village, in a village, Malvalli, near Malvalli, one farmer called Kamegowda. What he has done? He has built more than 100 lakes. More than 100 lakes. So he was given an award, right, for this Kamegowda person. So he has built 100 lakes. That is also a drought response. Then one person in Rajasthan, in Laporia village. Laporia, his name is Lakshman Singh. He has also built lot of lakes. So that is also a drought response. There are various varieties of drought response. You can divide this response into response for meteorological drought, response for meteorological drought. For this, what can be done? We should reduce the climate change, we should reduce pollution, and we should stop deforestation. All these are the meteorological drought response. For hydrological drought response, what should we do? We should reduce groundwater extraction, we should recharge the aquifer. All these are the hydrological drought. Then we have agricultural drought. What we can do? Per drop, more crop, micro irrigation. All these can be done to as a response to agricultural drought. Next, micro irrigation fund. So in order to promote micro irrigation, government has started this micro irrigation fund. So it speaks about drip irrigation, sprinkler irrigation, spray irrigation, all these types of various types of irrigation. So see, today if there is 100%, see, first of all, what is the percentage of fresh water in the earth? It is just 3%. So out of this 3%, more than 1.5 or 2% is locked in ice caps. Ice caps, right? So less than 1% is available in the lakes and rivers and groundwater. So out of this, 80% is going to agriculture. 80% of the fresh water is utilized by agriculture. So that is a negative. Then drought in India, when were the, so with respect to micro irrigation fund, so this is about the micro irrigation fund. Why we need? Because of these reasons. So also because of the drought, we need micro irrigation, because 2012, 2015 and the 2016, in these 3 years India faced drought, right? And also, so as a response, micro irrigation is also included in the Prime Minister Krishi Sinchai Yojana. Under Prime Minister Krishi Sinchai Yojana, micro irrigation, Pearl Rock, more crop, Arket ko Pani, watershed development, it is included, and also rainwater harvesting. Next, this micro irrigation fund, it is a 5,000 crore rupees fund. It is a 5,000 crore rupees fund. So it is managed by NABARD. Micro irrigation fund is managed by the organization NABARD, right? Okay. Next you have long-term irrigation fund. Long-term irrigation fund. So this long-term irrigation fund is a the name itself says it is a long term. It is not a short term. It is over long term. The fund will be utilized for irrigation. So it is a long-term irrigation fund. It is a fund of 20,000 crores. 20,000 crores also managed by NABARD. This fund is also managed by NABARD, right? So where is this fund invested? In the incomplete major and medium irrigation projects, incomplete dams, incomplete canals, incomplete dams, incomplete canals, all these areas, major and medium irrigation projects, long-term irrigation fund set up under NABARD will be utilized. Next we have soil health. With respect to soil health, what is being done? So first is we are providing soil health card. Soil health card. Yesterday I told you what all the soil health card measures. So it measures the soil fertility. What chemicals are there or what minerals are there in the soil, right? What is the soil moisture? What type of soil it is, right? And what is the crop that is suitable for this kind of soil? All these are mentioned in the soil health card. So we have mobile labs. So it is provided free of cost. We have mobile labs which is going to give the soil health cards, which is going to measure the soil fertility. With respect to soil health, we have neem coated urea and organic fertilizers. So with respect to soil fertility, soil health, we are using neem coated urea. To the urea, normal urea, we are coating with neem. When we coat with neem, what happens? The urea release will be slowed down. So if we put the urea like that, what happens? All the urea would be released at once, right? So it will lead to damage to the soil. So neem coated urea, slower release of the fertilizer, right? That we are using. Then urea subsidy, we are providing subsidy for urea, right? So this is actually negative for the soil health, because since subsidy is given, lot more urea is being utilized in the soil health. Then urea subsidy and soil health. That is, since subsidy is provided more for the urea, what happens? It is used more and soil health will deteriorate, right? That is the concept. Next, soil reclamation. How we are going to take back the soil again? How we are going to revitalize the soil again, refertilize the soil, right? So soil reclamation, one is how does the soil get spoiled? One is soil erosion. You know the concept of soil erosion. Soil eroded because of rain, excess flood, excess irrigation, all those things. And soil getting acidic. Acidic means pH value falling below 7.0. That is, soil is getting acidic. Then deficiency in organic content. Soil is not having any organic content, right? Deficiency in organic content, right? So because of all these reasons, we need to, and also soil reclamation, excess fertilizer use. Fertilizer is being used excessively. So that is the reason soil is getting spoiled. We need to reclaim the soil. And the chemicals, NPK, nitrogen, potassium, sorry, what is P? P is phosphorus, K is potassium. So NPK. So actually the actual ratio should be 4:2:1. If there is 4 unit of urea, 2 unit of P and 1 unit of K. Whereas we are utilizing what? We are putting 6.7 against 4, 6.7 of nitrogen, right? And 2.4 of P and 1 unit of this thing, potassium, right? So this is K potassium, sure? Okay. So P is possible. Okay. So we are using it excessively. So K is actually correct. 1. This P is being used by 2.4. 0.4 it is excess. Whereas C, look at nitrogen. Nitrogen is almost 2.7 extra. 2.7 excess. So because of which what happens when fertilizer is used in excess, what happens? Micronutrients get depleted. Micronutrients. That is, these are the macronutrients. These are macronutrients. There will be lot of micronutrients. These micronutrients get depleted because of excess use of fertilizer. Next you have sulfur deficiency. In the soil there is already sulfur deficiency is also there. These are the problems with respect to soil in India, right? What are the measures? Reclaim the soil. Reclaim the soil. How do we reclaim the soil? Use agricultural waste. Agri waste. Agri waste, you put it in the soil, mix it, so it will act as fertilizer. That is one thing. Even you can use your cow dung and all those things, sheep droppings, and use irrigation should be used optimal way. There should be neither less irrigation nor excess irrigation. That is also used to reclaim the soil. Next, chemicals should be used in an optimal way. There are certain chemicals which you can use to reclaim the soil. There are certain chemicals which you should stop using in order to reclaim the soil. That is there. Then you have, there should be scientific use of fertilizer. See, whatever the fertilizer required for the particular land, only that fertilizer should be used. Any other fertilizer should not be used. That is one thing. Then neem coated urea should be used instead of just urea. Apart from that, soil health card should be, every farmer should have one soil health card for his farm. That is one thing. Apart from that, we can follow zero budget natural farming. I told you already what is zero budget natural farming. That can be followed. Then we can have agri-clinic, agricultural clinics. So these clinics, what they do? Agri-clinic, they are going to test the soil. They are going to give recommendation with respect to fertilizer, seed, also how much irrigation should be done, when should the plant be done, what should be the moisture, what should be the pesticide, what should be the insecticide, and when should it be harvested. Everything would be, every information. It is just like a clinic for animals, right? So zero budget natural farming, it is followed in, I told you already what is zero budget natural farming. It is followed in Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka, right? So it is a concept given by Subhash Palekar. Zero budget natural farming, the concept was given by Subhash Palekar. Budget 2019-2020 speaks about zero budget natural farming. AP and Karnataka are following it. Next you have Indian agriculture and climate change. How climate change is impacting Indian agriculture. The first thing is, between 1901 and 2018, there is an increase of 0.6 degrees Celsius. Between these 2 years, See, the Paris climate change deal, it speaks about maintaining the temperature rise within 1.5%. Because if it increases more than 2%, it will be disastrous. Within 1.2%, 1.5% of what? Of pre-industrial revolution. Before industrial revolution, what was the climate? What was the temperature? So the temperature should be, the temperature rise now should be within 1.5 degree of that particular temperature. So now it is already risen to 0.6 degrees Celsius between 1901 to 2018. So there is lot of global warming, greenhouse gases. So what happens when these greenhouse gases will get mixed into the atmosphere? The nitrogen content will reduce, right? And it will impact the agricultural yield. It will lead to acid rain. All these things, acid rains means mixing because of this pollution mixing with the soil, mixing with the rainwater, and rainwater coming onto the land and spoiling the soil and crops. That is acid rain. So acid rain will happen. So yield will reduce. So many, and also with respect to global warming, heat, the insolation, that is, there will be more temperature which is not suitable for certain crops. All these are the negative effects on Indian agriculture because of climate change. What are the effects? I told you, these effects are already seen in Gangetic Plain. There will be reduced water. So soil fertility will be loosened. Acid rain will happen. Reduced yield. Right? So temperature excess. Some crops will fail. There will be more weeds. There will be more insects. All these are the negative effects of the climate change on Indian agriculture. So it will hamper what? It will hamper the food security. We will not have proper food, sufficient food to eat. Food security will be hampered, and so we need to develop resilience. Resilience to climate change. What is resilience? Resilience means adaptability. Even if there is climate change, we are going to adapt to it. That is resilience. So we have to develop resilience. Next, vulnerability. What is the vulnerability? India is close to tropical location. Right? India is close to tropical location, because of which there is a more impact of climate change, because more heat. Because India is close to tropical location, right? This is also leads to decline yield. I have already told it, right? Next you have national, this mission is important, national innovation on climate resilient agriculture. National innovation on climate resilient agriculture started in 2011. So who starts this? It is started by Indian Council of Agricultural Research. Indian Council of Agricultural Research starts the national innovations on climate resilient agriculture. What are the objectives? What are the objectives of NICRA? So it focuses on strategic research. Strategic research means what? The agriculture, whatever the agriculture is there, it should not be affected by climate change, or the agriculture crop should be resilient to climate change. So in that direction, NICRA is going to conduct research, strategic research, and also technical demonstration. It is going to demonstrate various technologies which are resilient to climate change, various crops which are resilient to climate change. Then capacity building. It is going to build the capacity of our farmers it is going to build the capacity of Indian agriculture in order to adapt to climate change. That is there, right? Then you have it is going to assess the impact of climate change. How climate change is impacting the agriculture, right? That assessment would be done. Next, it gives an adaptive strategy. This NICRA is going to give what? It is going to give a adaptive strategy. How we are going to adapt to climate change. That adaptive strategy is given, and it is going to conduct strategic research. It is going to conduct strategic research with respect to climate change, right? Then you have 4 pillars of NICRA. There are 4 pillars of NICRA. What are the 4 pillars of NICRA? So the first pillar of NICRA is natural resource management. Natural resource management is the first pillar of NICRA. Natural resource, water, air, soil, right? All greenery, everything will be managed in order to make the agriculture climate resilient. That is one thing. Then improve the soil health. The NICRA is going to focus on improving the soil health. That is the second thing. Then NICRA is going to focus on improving the soil health. Then it is going to focus on crop production, increasing the crop production or maintaining the same level of crop production. And it is also focusing on livestock. Livestock means hen, chicken, all these things, sheep, cow, who are managed, who are being reared. So it is going to focus on that thing also. So why this NICRA is required? Why NICRA is required means there is a research shows that there is a decrease in yield. Research shows there is a decrease in yield because of climate change. That is why NICRA is needed. Then there is a heat stress effect on cows because of climate change. There is heat stress on the cows. Cows are feeling the heat stress. Their productivity is getting reduced. The milk yield is getting reduced. That is one thing. Next you have, there is impact on the fish catch. Because of climate change, fishes are migrating to various regions, because of which there is decrease in fish catch. Then you have paddy. Paddy cultivation is reducing because of climate change. That is one thing. So what NICRA has done is, it has conducted one research called as germplasm based heat and drought tolerant varieties. So it has conducted research with respect to germplasm. Germplasm, you will study it in your biology. It is a kind of what? Germplasm. Germplasm, it is a biological entity within the plant or animal. So based on that, it is similar to nucleus, right? So in that germplasm, it is associated with the cell, plant cell or animal cell. With respect to that, it is going to conduct research. It is going to conduct research, heat and drought tolerant varieties. So when you conduct research with respect to germplasm, it is going to give what? It is going to give heat and drought tolerant varieties. The variety of crops which are tolerant to heat. The variety of crops which are tolerant to drought. That varieties it is going to give, right? Heat and drought tolerant varieties. Next, you have government steps. What are the government steps? One is, so germplasm based heat and drought tolerant varieties is developed by the NICRA. So what is the government steps with respect to climate change? One is, NICRA is the first step, already discussed. Then crop diversification. Crops are being diversified. Various other crops are being grown. So those crops which are resilient to climate change, those types of crops are being grown, right? And there is district agriculture contingency plan. There is a district agriculture contingency plan. This plan is going to talk about if there is agricultural contingency. If there is agricultural contingency, how it will be? Agricultural contingency means emergency. How it is going to be dealt? That is that is one of the steps. Then there is National Action Plan on Climate Change. There is an action plan on climate change that also speaks about the climate resilient agriculture. Under this we have various missions. National Mission on Sustainable Agriculture. It is given in 2008. 2008. So National Action Plan on Climate Change. So it also speaks on National Mission on Sustainable Agriculture. That is one thing. Then National Mission on Strategic Knowledge in Climate Change. This is also a mission. It focuses on gaining strategic knowledge in climate change. Then you have National Mission on Sustainable Himalayan Ecosystem. There is a National Mission on Sustainable Himalayan Ecosystem, right? It speaks of agriculture in the Himalayan region. Then you have National Water Mission. National Water Mission, which focuses on the proper usage of water with respect to sustainable agriculture and climate change, right? Okay. Next you have precision agriculture. Precision agriculture. What do you mean by precision agriculture? See, precision agriculture means usage of information technology, GPS, sensors, robotics, drones. If we use all these in agriculture, then it is called precision agriculture. It is usage of technology in agriculture, right? So what does it help? How does it help precision agriculture? It helps in optimizing returns. It is going to help in optimizing or increasing the returns, right? So this is precision agriculture is called the third wave of agricultural revolution. Precision agriculture talks of third wave of agricultural revolution. What is the first wave? The first wave of agricultural revolution is mechanization. Using machinery in agriculture is the first wave. Second wave of agricultural revolution is genetically modified organisms. That is second wave. The third wave of agricultural revolution speaks of precision agriculture. It has three components. The first component is crop science. The first component speaks of crop science, right? Crop science, that is farming close to crop needs. That is, farming should be take care of the crops, whatever the crop needs, proper water, proper fertilizer, proper pesticide. All these things should be taken care by the farming. That is crop science. That is the first pillar of precision agriculture. The second pillar of precision agriculture is environmental protection. The second pillar of precision agriculture speaks of environmental protection. That is reducing the risk with respect to agriculture, right? Then the third pillar speaks of economics of agriculture. That is, the first is with respect to crop, second is with respect to environmental protection, third is with respect to economics. That is, there should be good profit. That is competitiveness in agriculture. The third pillar speaks about the competitiveness in agriculture, right? Then you have this precision agriculture. What will it do? See, it will help in low cost. So see, this is the next concept. It is linked to precision agriculture. See, it is low cost mobile phone based agricultural extension system. So the heading is agricultural extension system. What is agricultural extension system? So it is low cost mobile phone based agricultural extension system. This agricultural extension system speaks of low cost and it is mobile phone based. What is it? Application of scientific research and new knowledge through farmer education. If you apply scientific research, if you apply new knowledge to agriculture, then it is called agricultural extension system. Extension system means what? Scientific knowledge and education. New scientific research and new knowledge is applied to agriculture. It is called agricultural extension system. It is low cost and mobile phone based. This agricultural extension system is low cost and mobile phone based, right? So it speaks about the best practices. It speaks about the best practices. That is, the best practices in research, the best knowledge will be applied to agriculture under the agricultural extension system. Also, it speaks about knowledge transfer. Knowledge transfer from where? Knowledge transfer from agricultural universities to agricultural fields. That knowledge transfer is spoken about by the agricultural extension system. Then there is a National Commission on Farmers. National Commission on Farmers speaks of knowledge deficit and yield realization. So this National Commission on Farmers says that there is a knowledge deficit among the farmers. They don't know which crop to be grown, how it has to be grown, which fertilizer should be used. They don't know that. That is why there is a knowledge deficit. Knowledge deficit is there. That is what this National Commission on Farmers speaks about. Then you have yield realization. There is less. This commission also speaks that there is less yield realization. There is no good yield, right? That also is spoken by the National Commission on Farmers, right? So there is a collapse of extension system. See, because collapse in extension services and its effect. So why there is a collapse of extension services? See, I told you extension services means what? Means research and knowledge. But in India there is no application of research, no application of knowledge, or very less application of knowledge in agriculture. That is why there is a collapse of extension services, and collapse of extension services is there. That is, no scientific research is applied in agriculture. What is happening because of it? Because of it, there is, what is the effect of the collapse of agricultural extension? There is less yield. Less yield is there. Yes. Apart from that, less yield is one thing. Then you have there is no innovative agriculture. There is no scientific application. Apart from that, there is infestation of pests. There is unscientific use of fertilizers, right? There is non-optimum use of water. All these are the effect of the all, including the less remuneration to the farmers. All these are the effects of the non-application or non-extension of the farm services. Next, so what we should do? We should revitalize the extension. That is, scientific research and knowledge should be revitalized, should be reapplied in the agriculture. So who are doing it? Krishi KVK. KVKs are Krishi Vignan Kendras. Krishi Vignan Kendras are conducting the research. Indian Council of Agricultural Research is conducting the research. Also, NABARD is also supporting the research in agriculture sector. That is agricultural extension system, right? Okay. So, tomorrow we will talk about agri clinics and agri business centers. So, please make good use of the classes. If you have any doubts, please do contact us. We will try to clarify all your doubts. Please take care of your health. Jai Hind. Namaste.